Have you ever felt like English grammar is just out to get you? Especially with those tiny little words like a, an, and the? Well, guess what? In the next few minutes, we're going to clear all that up. We're going to make nouns and articles your new best friends so you can finally use them with total confidence. Let's dive in.
You know, it's so true. The biggest headaches in English, they almost always come from the smallest words. Let's look at a few common ones that I bet will look pretty familiar.
How about this one? I need an advice. Have you ever said that, or maybe heard someone say it? It sounds so close, but it's just not quite right, is it?
Or maybe this one. We had a trip to the France. I mean, why is it okay to say the United States, but the France just sounds off?
And of course, a classic, the furniture are very old. Look, you're talking about chairs, tables, a whole bunch of stuff, so it should be are, right? Well, not exactly.
If any of those sentences made you stop and think, I might have said that, you're not alone. This is one of the biggest hurdles in English. But here's the good news. There's a really simple logic behind all of it, and we are going to fix this for you right now.
And here it is. This is the secret key that unlocks the whole thing. It's all about understanding the difference between countable and uncountable nouns. Seriously, once you get this, all those confusing article rules are suddenly going to make perfect sense.
And it really is this simple. So on the left, we've got countable nouns. These are things you can literally put a number in front of, right? One company, two companies. Easy. They can be singular or plural. But on the right, you've got uncountable nouns. Think of these as big ideas or materials, stuff you can't really count individually. You just can't say 2 luggages or 3 advices. It doesn't work. They're always treated as a singular thing.
And this makes it crystal clear. So in the picture on the left, furniture is a category. It's a collection. You can count the chairs, you can count the tables, but you can't count furniture itself. It's uncountable. Now look to the right, a job. That's a single, distinct thing. You can have 1 job, you can have 2 jobs. It's totally countable.
Okay, now this is where English gets a little tricky, but also kind of cool. Some words can actually be both. It just depends on what you mean. So when you say, exercise is good for you, you're talking about the general idea of physical activity. That's uncountable. But if you say, these grammar exercises are easy, you're talking about specific individual tasks you can count. See? It's all about the context.
Okay, so you've got the foundation now, countable and uncountable nouns. Now let's look at your main tools. When you use a noun, you really only have 3 choices: a or an, the or just nothing at all.
And this little table breaks it down perfectly. You use a or an when you're talking about one non-specific thing, like any old pen will do. You use the when you're talking about a specific thing that we both know about. And you use no article at all when you're speaking generally, about concepts, like music helps me concentrate.
Let's put this into practice. Check this out. This is a car. Super simple. All I'm doing is telling you what it is. It's one of millions of cars in the world. Nothing special about it, yet. But now, look at this. Same car, but the sentence is, this is the car I told you about. That one tiny word, the, changes everything. It's not just any car anymore, it's our car, the one we talked about before. It's specific.
All right, you've got the main rules down pat. Now, let's get into the weird stuff, the exceptions and the special cases. Think of these as the pro tips that are going to take your English to the next level.
Geography is a huge one. And look, these rules might seem a little random, but there's a pattern. We tend to use the for big collections of things, like oceans, rivers, and mountain ranges. But we usually do not use the for single places, like most countries, cities, or lakes. And that's exactly why a trip to France is correct, while a trip to the Philippines, a collection of islands, is also correct.
You know, this might be my favorite example of all, because it just shows how powerful that little word the can be. If you say someone is in hospital, you mean they're a patient receiving treatment. But if they're in the hospital, they're just physically inside that specific building. They could be working there, like this doctor, or just visiting. The meaning is completely different.
Oh, and here's another quick one for you. For some reason, we always play the guitar, the piano, the violin, but we just play tennis, play soccer, play chess. It's just a set rule you have to remember. The for musical instruments, but no article for sports.
All right, that's enough rules. Theory is great, but let's actually put this stuff to work with a real-world example. And what's better than making pancakes? Just pay really close attention to how we use the articles here.
Okay, let's do this. Step 1. To make pancakes. It's plural, we're talking about pancakes in general, so no article, right? You need flour and milk. Both are uncountable, so again, no article. But you need an egg. It's singular, it's countable, and we're not talking about a specific egg yet. Just any egg will do.
Now wait, did you see that? In step 3, we suddenly switched to beat the egg with the flour. Why the? Because now we are talking about specific things, the egg and the flour we just mentioned in the last step. Same goes for adding the milk. And you keep mixing until you get a smooth mixture, one non-specific result.
And for the grand finale, serve them hot with sugar and lemon juice. No articles again. Why? Because we're talking about general, uncountable toppings. See? You already do this stuff without even realizing it. It makes perfect sense.
So when you really boil it down, these aren't just a bunch of random, annoying rules. They're actually the hidden logic of the English language. They help us communicate clearly about what's general, what's specific, what's one, and what's many.
And that's our crash course on mastering nouns and articles. So, I've got a question for you. Thinking about everything we just covered, from countable nouns all the way to making pancakes, what's one single rule that you learned today that's going to change how you speak English, starting right now?